September meeting of the Glendale Planning Historic Preservation Commission. We will begin as always by noting for the record that we do have a quorum. Becky, if you would note the two members we have absent, I appreciate it. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the August meeting. I believe we also have the July meeting minutes we have to approve as well?
Correct.
Let's start with the July meeting minutes.
I move approval.
Second.
Any further discussion, members of the commission? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now on to the August minutes. Members of the commission?
I move approval.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All
Thank
right,
you.
moving right along to new business. The first request is for Zachary Barnett at 1100 Congress for a new fence. Is Mr. Barnett available? Or anybody for Mr. Barnett? All right, that's denied. No, I'm just kidding. We'll move on to the next item. We'll bump him to the end. Sometimes people run into traffic.
Watch out for Tom tonight.
Next one is 1055 Willow, Douglas and Jacqueline Schnelly. We've had, if you wouldn't mind stepping to the podium, we want an opportunity to review your application so we know what we're talking about. We know what you're talking about.
Okay.
So if you want to speak as little or as much as you want, we'll take it from there.
Okay, I guess along the yellow area there's an existing chain link fence, so we're proposing to put in like an ornamental black aluminum fence with quad finials on the top, carry that over into that 6-foot back corner off the garage, just have a gate there, and then that where the X's are, that's an existing fence, so we would just tie into that, or really, I guess, abut that. In the green area, there's an existing, I guess, 6-foot tall privacy fence, wood, that we're proposing to replace with a privacy. I included pictures in there.
Yeah, so it's a stockade now.
Yeah, so that's the existing chain link. Yeah.
That's existing?
That's existing, and then that's what we would propose below.
Okay. And then there's one other section. Go
Yeah,
back
and then
to
the
side
next
plan.
section would be the ornamental as well, the yellow,
Sorry.
same as the other yellow portion, and then carry a gate across the driveway, which we have a picture of that too, if you needed to see that.
Okay.
So the
Yeah, something like
existing
that.
is a shadow box fence,
Yes.
and what they want to replace it with, I believe, is solid all the way across. It's not shadow box, right? You don't, there's no
Correct.
space in it.
Yeah.
I did not bring the guidelines, but is
I
there
thought it had to be a certain percentage of
something
open area.
about, the openness of the fence?
In the front and side yards, it requires 50% openness, which is, I like to say, 2-inch board, 2-inch gap, 2-inch board.
Or shadow box works, yeah.
Right. In the rear yard, there is no openness requirement. And this is going to be located in the rear yard.
Okay.
Well, it's our side, but that
Isn't
green
it a
area is
side?
someone else's rear, which is why it's existing now is 6 foot.
And there,
Yeah.
Is that Greenwich's old house?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I see that. Big
So
garage.
The rear yard of the people on
the green would be
Coral.
located
Yes.
roughly in this area.
Yes.
So it'd be rear yard. Yeah.
Yeah, that's your
okay,
rear
and
yard.
it's facing a garage.
And
so-
is there a finished side to this fence and a non-finished side, or is it
They're
finished on
what
both
they call
sides?
like neighbor friendly. They're both
Okay.
finished. Yeah. And it's going up against their existing fence too.
Uh-huh.
So
So everything's well behind the house, the rear facade
Yeah.
of the house, so
Yeah.
it's all.
yeah, that
Meets
neighbor
the
won't
criteria.
even see it through there.
So I think this is this it right here?
Is that part of that privacy fence?
Yes.
What is their fence that they have? You said it's up against their fence too.
Yeah, it's that wood lattice
Oh,
top.
it's the same. So it's you and the two of you guys have the same style of fence up against each other?
Well, it's this, so to the right of the tennis court, Sweeney's tennis court there,
Right.
it's the black wood lattice top,
Okay.
and that turns a 90,
Mm-hmm.
and that butts up against the shadow box we're proposing to take down.
Okay.
So they have their own fence running along the rear.
And they have a shadow box also?
No, that it's that same lattice top, 6-foot
Okay.
lattice top.
And how long does the new fence go, from where to where?
Exactly where it is.
No, I mean,
Oh.
the length of it. Cause it goes and it jogs, I didn't see it jog on the
I
one
didn't
below.
either.
It just looked like a straight blue line. Go back to the other one and show me.
Yeah,
just a property
so
line.
we're proposing to take down, it currently runs straight. And again, you can't really see it. So we're proposing to tie it off so it would kind of be a secure area,
I don't get it.
like all closed.
Okay.
So on your color coded, David, could you go, I guess, the first page that shows the yellow and green? So the green piece, the,
Not to scale.
on the side over there,
No, almost 92
that's
feet.
a new location for the brown fence? Or is that where also the existing wood one is in that same configuration?
What's running vertical in the green area
Yeah.
there is
Yeah.
existing shadow box.
Okay,
And so we're taking that all down. Currently, it ties into what's X'd there.
okay,
We're proposing to put just that 6-foot new section to tie back to that corner of the privacy.
okay, so behind the garage to that fence is 6 feet spacing back there-ish?
Ish, yes.
Yeah, just so you can mow and everything and get to it kind of thing?
Yes.
So David, can you show us on the next picture where the jog is on the, from the 92 foot to the 4 foot? I don't
The
get
four-
on the next one down.
Well, my understanding is that the two right angles don't currently exist. Is that correct? As
Cor-
far as the fence is concerned, it's
Correct.
But
Like we're
this-
adding
so
the gate
Let me try that.
and then adding that 90-degree turn.
So the only portion of the fence that is currently existing is, bear with me here, is this section there.
Yes. And then the
So
chain
then
link
it's
on the
not-
other side.
So that'll tie in with the metal fence that way, doesn't it? Okay.
Yeah. So this 6-foot section and this 4-foot section are proposed.
Correct. So that everything ties together.
And the 75 foot is new too, right?
Yes, to match the
Yeah.
other side, the ornamental aluminum.
Okay.
This might be a good point to bring up. This is a good example of why it'd be nice if we had certified surveyor drawings, stamp drawings for things like this, to make it easier to see and more precise for construction and make sure you're not on the neighbor's yard. I know I've said that before, but I just thought I'd say it again.
And then the fence that you show in the photos is a reference with the arch top for the gate itself.
Yeah,
That one's a
going across
sliding
the
one,
driveway.
But you're just showing a pivot one, right? It would, yours
Yeah,
would
single,
swing
yeah, one
Okay.
single door.
to where that one looks, it's motorized and retracts, okay.
Any further questions? Or comments? Or motions?
So we're gonna approve or not approve the appropriateness of the fence. As far as placement, you'll take care of that.
Yep.
All right,
Is there public comment?
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Anyone in the audience wish to address?
Yes. Yes.
I'm sorry, hi, Sue.
Give your name, please, for the record, and
I beg your pardon?
your name for the record.
Yes, I'm Sandy Baker. I live at 1065 Willow Avenue. and I'm not very code and zone savvy, so excuse me if I don't use the right terminology, and I'm going to read some of what I have written. And I don't exactly understand where the fence, I couldn't hear a lot of the exact and where the gate would go. But whereas we do have questions regarding the proposed fencing, we have a bigger concern about the use of the property at 1055 Willow. As the closest neighbor in Historic District A, directly adjacent to the applicant's property, we believe this application should be tabled until the commission reviews the use of the property as they propose. We have questions and concerns about how they plan to use the property for business purposes, a commercial enterprise. So looking at, housing commercial vehicles and equipment on the property, and will there be any workshop work going on in the garage? So our primary concern for the purposes of today's meeting is where the fence line will be relative to our property line, as you would imagine. So I guess my first question is, how far forward does that fence, your proposed fence, come on the north side of the property from the garage or from that back corner forward?
92 feet.
So that where the gate is, that.
Where is the gate going to be?
So the very back door.
Your back door.
Yes, it will tie just in front of that.
Okay, so
that
it's,
back door.
so your fence along the north will come forward or east of where the wood fence is currently.
92.
So it'll come along the area where there are bushes and trees that separate our two driveways.
It'll hug right along the driveway. Our driveway, yeah,
So you'll put it in your driveway?
pretty much right.
Is there a
They need a survey.
requirement for the distance? Something has to be from another property line? or
Not
from-
for, we do not have a distance requirement for fencing within our code as far as a setback to any property lines.
Okay,
However, the privacy fence has to be behind the rear facade. And
Yeah.
right now, I believe she shows the yellow line on the
But
northeast
that's not a
side.
privacy fence then.
Is it?
That's the.
Correct.
fence.
Oh,
That's
is it
the
4 feet
aluminum.
tall?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's this ornamental.
It's only 4 feet tall?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
excuse me, never mind.
The green is the 6 foot.
Got it. Got it.
Ma'am, you mentioned you had questions about the business use of the property. What do you allege is the business use of the property that the new owners are putting this property to?
I mean, I don't know what their plans are. I would be interested in knowing what the plans are, but they have a remodeling business, and I would assume there's a workshop, that has equipment in it for them to do some of their work, and so we would be interested in knowing if that is what they plan to put in on the property, probably in the garage. I know that Jacqueline had told me that they were going to have to modify a garage door to accommodate one of their trucks because the rear part of the truck is too large to go in. So it seems like there are a couple of things that, in my opinion, would need to be addressed as
The
well.
application before us today is just for the fence.
I'm sorry?
The application that is before us today is just for the fence.
Yes.
We've not been asked to review the business use
Okay.
of the property. That's a question that really would start with the administrator first, and he can look into that or
Okay.
whatever information is presented
Okay.
to him. We're just here for the fence, though. So
How are we
I'm
gonna
sorry.
know this fence is on their property or without a survey? How are we gonna know that?
Well, it's a responsibility of the property owner to install the fence on their property. That's essentially a private property matter between the two adjoining property owners. If there are disputes about the location of the property line and relative to the existing or proposed fence, my recommendation would be for the property owner that's alleging that it's improperly installed to provide a survey that certifies the location of the property line relative to the fence and verifies that there is a dispute between the two neighbors on the location of the
And
property
you're saying
line.
that would be the obligation not of the person installing the fence, but of the person disputing it?
Well, that becomes a civil matter at that point. It doesn't. The village's responsibility of, as with any building project, the responsibility of the property owner performing the project to do it on their property, for lack of a more accurate description. If there is a neighbor that believes that something is being constructed on their property, then they would have some requirement to prove that is happening on their property. But that would be a civil matter that the village would not be involved in if there's a dispute over the property line between two private property owners.
In 1997, I built a garage and had to provide a survey, a stamped survey for site location on my garage to make sure I was off the property line. Did the packet used to have a requirement for a survey?
Not to my knowledge, a requirement for a survey.
Part of the present package. You know, there used to be a document that said what had to be included in the submission package for applications, which I haven't seen for a while.
So to my knowledge, there's no requirement for a stamped survey for a fence project or really any other application. Now, we do require them for certain applications, but to the extent that there is an existing fence on the property and that all of the work is intended to be along that, within that existing fence, especially on what appears to be the disputed side, then there is currently no requirement for a survey. Of course,
think
they're a good idea, of course, but
Go ahead, Ms. Baker. Ms. Baker?
I think my final thought would be that if the fence is going on their property, obviously we don't have a say in the matter. If they bring it over into the, I'll call it a median between our two driveways, there's a row of trees and bushes, and we would not remotely be in favor of removing those if they needed to move it over there.
Yeah. Well, again, that's a civil matter between you and your neighbors to figure out. We don't regulate plantings and who owns what tree and whether the root system might be affected. That's a matter between private neighbors.
But
So-
can you not make sure it's on their property?
Well, as David said,
I can't hear what David said.
As David said, whether or not the fence is on their property as opposed to your property is a matter that we review. They've told us it's going to be on their property.
Okay, then,
We take the word.
then we're good. Then
Well,
we're good.
as far as we're concerned, we're
There's
good.
no,
But-
if it's on their property.
Now, let me finish. If you dispute that it's on their property, you think it's on your property, that's a matter that you two have to work out as adjoining property owners. We're really, our only application or our only responsibility here tonight is to review the appropriateness of the fences that are proposed. So they're proposing the aluminum fences with the spindles and the privacy fence. So, and we're looking at those types of fences in relation to the property lines. And so that's really what we're looking at. So
Okay.
did you have any comments or questions about the appropriateness of the fence designs?
I suppose not the appropriateness, but it's not something that we're necessarily in favor of. But that's another issue. I don't think it's not appropriate, as long as they don't come over into our
Okay.
property.
Well,
Yeah.
work with them, work with your neighbors to make sure that they put it where you both agree the line is. And if it takes a surveyor, that's between the two of you to work out.
Yep.
All right. Is there anyone else in the audience wish to address this application? Any further comments from the applicant?
I would just say, I mean, we can discuss where it's going, but it would in no way take out the plans, and I understand your concerns.
All right. Members of the commission, further comments, questions, or motions?
I have a couple of comments that are not mandatory, obviously, but I would just say in general, if you're going to build a fence or anything else on your property, sometimes it's a good idea just to get a survey. It's not mandatory if you think you're on your property, but you're going to make a substantial investment in this fence and you don't want to have to move it. So that's kind of always a good idea to do it. The question about use of the property, where does that come up? If not this commission, I know it's not here. That's followed through with David?
Yeah, Sandy.
Okay.
Sandy.
I'm sorry.
Yes. If you have my email address, or if you're staying for the remainder of the meeting,
Sure.
we'll be in touch and we'll talk about the use.
Sure, David, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know,
So-
just because a fence is existing doesn't mean that it's on their property line.
That's right.
It could be, I've seen them 6 inches, a foot over onto the neighbor's property, and if you just take that down and put a new one up,
Right,
you can end up having to tear that new fence down.
that is, and it doubles your cost.
Anything else, members of the commission? Is there a motion?
I'll move that we accept it, the application as drawn, but urge them to consider getting a survey and making this a little cleaner.
All right, we have a motion and a suggestion. Is there a second?
Go ahead, somebody. Second.
All right. Motion is second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. David, does the owners, do they need a building permit for the fence?
They'll need a zoning certificate through our office. We'll give you a call when it's ready.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right, let's move on to the next application, which is that of Kevin Selva for a shed/chicken coop at 55 West Sharon. Is Mr. Selva available? All right, sir, once again, we've had an opportunity to see your application, so we know what you're proposing.
Sure.
And you can tell us as much or as little as you want, and we'll take it from there.
Sure. So currently we are in the planning stages of building a chicken coop on our property, and I know that currently there isn't an ordinance, but one has been drafted and is in the process of being approved. So we tried to use that as a rubric for the current chicken coop. That way, if anything does need to be changed, we don't have to do it after it's already built.
Very good. David?
Yes.
I assume what he said is correct, that the new chicken coop ordinance has not been approved by council, is that correct?
Correct. The first read of that ordinance is this evening.
Okay. Does the design of his chicken coop match what we, as a planning commission, has approved?
It conforms with the proposed ordinance.
Okay.
Correct.
And that'll be 2 more months before it's approved, if it's
Correct.
approved?
Correct.
Well,
Depends
this
on.
month and then next month?
Yeah. Depending on how many reads council does, there are 3, so it could be November
Well, they've
before
done
there's.
one, right?
No, tonight's the first read.
Oh, tonight's the first one?
Yep.
Okay.
So essentially, we're looking at this as an accessory building, just a plain old
This is
accessory
a
building.
shed. Yeah, this
A
is the
shed.
same as a shed or,
Okay.
or other accessory
And
use.
from the zoning, the current zoning code, it matches or it conforms with the zoning?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyone else have questions?
I have a question. If we approve this and he builds it,
Mhm.
and then the new chicken coop ordinance comes in, does that affect him?
So through the new chicken coop ordinance, there is still a permit requirement annually for the keeping of chickens.
Yep.
That would be something that you would have to conform with, but
And if I understand correctly, that's for the chickens themselves, not for the coop.
right, it's essentially a package, if you will. But yeah, it recurs every year for the chickens
Yeah.
themselves. And so, correct, if this were to get constructed, council's to prove it as drafted, then he would
He's
just,
safe.
just need to go through that
That's what I
process for
wanted to
the
know.
keeping of chickens.
Another question, if it's an accessory building, do they have a detached garage, which is an accessory building?
They
And then, so the combined square footage would be less than half of the home footprint? Does it follow that calculation?
I would have to confirm that. I wasn't aware of an accessory or a detached garage on the property, but
Yeah, it's a 2-car.
we'll work with the applicant to
Okay.
confirm that detail.
Because we have an ordinance that says all accessory buildings combined can be 50% of the footprint, square footage of your house.
Sure.
Or 750 square feet, whichever is greater.
Okay.
So it just needs to fall in with that, so.
Sure.
At worst
I
case,
don't
your
think I
run
have a
might have
problem.
to be a little shorter. I
Okay.
don't know, but he'll calculate
We'll,
that.
yeah, we'll work on that.
Okay. Further questions, comments?
The only part, would the whole thing be an accessory building? Would the run be part of an accessory building too, or would just the building be an accessory building? Just the part that has the roof?
Enclosed.
It's one
Roof.
continuous structure with one roof line.
So the whole thing would be?
Yeah, it'll be just one building.
Okay.
Mhm.
And the code is written essentially to permit both construction styles. So this would comply.
Okay. Is there anyone in the audience wishes to address this application? I thought I heard another voice over here. On the-
I was about to move approval.
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much, Mr. Silva. Just work
Thank
with
you.
David on it, what else, your
Yep.
other follow-up needs.
Be in touch.
All right, next request is Andrew Kelly at 55 Erie for a fence. Mr. Kelly? You're not Mr. Kelly, are you?
I am, Mr.
Okay, welcome.
That's the last time you checked.
Okay, it's 20 years since I've been before this committee. So,
Oh, very good.
all right, so that's probably what you mean by one of these stamped drawings, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yes.
So 20 years ago, when we moved in, we put up a 4-foot high fence for keeping our Labradors in, who were chasing the mayor around the village. And now it needs replacement. In the meantime, about 18 months ago, down the left side where it adjoins the Cobb's property on Forest, they put in a privacy fence down that side. And since our fence now requires replacing one way or another, we decided to go with a privacy fence as well. The only change that's required is where you can see marked in red, where the current fence was sort of aligned with the middle of the house. We've now got to move it back so that it's at the rear of the house. But otherwise it's following the lines of the existing fences.
All right, very good. Members of the commission?
Is the existing fence a wood privacy fence?
No, it's a wood, like a picket fence, alternate fence gap.
Kind of what we saw earlier submission? Shadow box fence?
No, not shadow box.
Picket fence.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be matching the existing 6-foot?
Pretty much. I'm going to have to get the right stain. I'll have to find out what stain they used. Yeah.
Move to approve as submitted?
Second.
Is there anyone in the audience wish to address this application? Further discussion, members of the commission? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Well, let's move back to our first item on the agenda, which was the application of Zachary Barnett at 1100 Congress. Nobody here for the applicant? David, have you heard from Mr. Barnett?
They were reminded of the meeting last week, so not sure.
Typically, under
Any
these
reason?
situations, we defer action. We normally have enough of a cushion in time to pass to the next month.
Mhm.
It seems, at least in my estimation, to be the most appropriate
Yep.
course of action here.
So move to defer?
Move to defer to our next meeting.
Yes, sir.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We will defer till next month, David.
Okay.
All right. Well, that concludes our new business items. That we normally open the floor to others who wish to address the commission. Is there anyone here that wishes to address the commission on any other item? Anyone on the commission has some business to bring?
I think 3 months ago, Glenn Parrish came in and told us he had made some changes, and we said he needed to come back the next month with an application that we can review of the changes he made without making an application. So I think the front, do you remember the house?
The front lattice work, and then you closed it with
Yeah.
a screened-in porch as well.
Yeah.
I see it every day.
And I was wondering if is he gonna make a follow, do we need to follow with him?
Yeah, we'll follow up with them.
Anyone else? Any member of the commission? Is there a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.